Hey, you guys. So look, I want to address a few things here. Ever since my appearance on Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, the interview I did with Jimmy, I've been getting a lot of questions. I've been getting a lot of comments. So not only did Jimmy have me on to talk about the band, that's new, and our new album and all that, and we did. Turns out the guy's a huge fan, and we've got a lot in common, and there's all kinds of things between Jimmy and I that we didn't even realize until we got to talking. But there's that other part of the interview that some of you, pretty much all of you, had no idea that there were these things. And okay, so let me address that while I drive around, because this is where I feel comfortable. Okay, not only have I seen UFOs, but I've been in them. Yeah, I have. And there are people from other worlds that I've come in contact with. Now, it's all in the interview, and you can listen to that. It's available anytime over at Fade to Black. All right, so where should I begin? I'm not going to cover everything that we talked about with Jimmy. It's all there. But this wasn't a publicity stunt. This is my life. And I've encountered people who aren't from Earth. They've been doing this, this started when I was 8, possibly even before that, but that's my first memory. And, like I said in the interview, I was 8 years old, and I was out in this field, and there were these two little guys, and they were like, they didn't say anything, but I knew they wanted me to come over, and so I did. And as I got closer and closer, I was like, these are not people. But I wasn't afraid. I wasn't freaked out. I was 8 years old, and I went with them. And there were so many holes in my memory of what happened because it continued to happen, from then until, all through my 20s. And I remember bits and pieces, being in the presence of different ones, the little gray guys, the really tall gray guys, and guys that look kind of like insects, basically like praying mantises. Any of you have heard about those kind of beings? Yeah, they do exist. And, other hybrids, and it's a great big universe, and there's lots of different people out there, and they're all people. You get over what they, the fact that they don't look like us, even though a lot of them do look like us. They're all people, that's the thing. We're living in a time now where all this is coming out. I felt it was time to come forward because I know it's all coming out, and I know that things are changing here on planet Earth. The human race is evolving to something more, something better, something incredible. I've been waiting for this my whole life, and I've been receiving information about this my whole life. I remember being 4 years old and having these thoughts, like the world is going to change and it's going to be different. It's, something always felt like it's going to be scary, but it's going to be great, but it's somehow I'm going to change and everything's going to change, and I'm involved in some way, shape, or form, and it's still unfolding. I still don't know. Right now, the only thing I can assume is that I'm supposed to talk about it. Maybe, some of us who have had direct experience need to come forward at this time when everybody's beginning to wake up and go, I don't think this is a joke anymore. This stuff is real. And there's a huge community that's forming around awakening human consciousness. UFOs and telepathy, the different planets and what's really out there and who's really out there and the true history of the human race and it goes back way further than we've been told. All these things are coming out. Even things about the way we've been manipulated by our government and the banks and the corporations, and it's all coming forward. And I have been expecting this since I was 4 years old. I didn't really have any way to process that aspect. I just knew something was going to happen and everything was going to be different. But as I went through my life, more and more information began to be revealed to me. And I'm watching it play out in real time in the world as it exists. And not just from the mainstream media, I know that's all just promotional tools to make money and to get you to buy things and to sway your opinion, but when you do watch it, you see things ping-pong back and forth between what they call fake news and what they call real news. And when you use your own intuition, you can see what's going on, because you got to take in the whole picture. You take the mainstream news, the alternative news. You take what your friends are saying. You would take what friends of friends are saying. You take what different special interest groups are doing and social media groups, and you connect all the threads, all the dots, because that is the only picture that has the puzzle pieces for you to see what's there. And it's not all there yet, but the picture that's forming is that we've been asleep and we're waking up. Now, some people get real grumpy when they're woken up out of a deep sleep, and that's the thing. People just get angry and argumentative, and we're right, no, you're right, wrong, and our side versus their side, and they get really shaken up and over little things. Well, people are waking up and they're grumpy. Just let them be, get them some coffee. and that's what this is. This is coffee for the mass awakening, to talk about what you know. And I know there are plenty of you out there who've had experiences that you've been silent about. Now's the time to speak. It's just time. That's why I'm doing it. It's just time. And the hell with, whether or not we're going to be ridiculed or we're going to be trolled, or who cares? Because you know as well as I know that things are not the way we've been told they are. Things that were once a joke are now deadly serious. And it's amazing. I've literally been waiting for this my whole life. There's a shift that is upon us, and it's unfolding day by day. And this is a dimensional shift. It may sound out there, but even science is confirming that what they're seeing out there in the universe and what they're seeing here on planet Earth, and what gravity really is, and how it's an electric universe, and they're talking about it's a holographic universe. They're looking at all these things and talking about it, and this is in mainstream science. This is in science journals. The global warming, you know what? That's happening on every planet in our solar system. So what does that tell you? No, it's not our fault. That doesn't get us off the hook for all the pollution. Okay? That's a manipulative device there, saying, oh, there's such thing as global warming. Replace that with pollution, which is what people used to talk about. Pollution and how we're polluting the planet. And now it's been shifted to climate change, so that there can be this debate and corporations can get off the hook. No, the pollution is causing mass havoc here on the way we live, and the plants and the animals and the water and the fish and the birds and the bees and everything else. Look, we got to take responsibility for that and clean our act up. But as far as global warming goes, every planet, climate change is happening on every planet in our solar system. That's because we're moving into a new part of space which is highly, highly energetic. We don't just sit static in space. It's never been the case. Our entire solar system and all the galaxies are constantly moving. But where we are currently at is moving into an energetic cloud unlike any we've ever known. This is changing the frequency, okay? The frequency. Just like a radio frequency, right? You want to listen to one radio station, 95.5 right now, and no, I want to listen to 106.7. You turn up the frequency. You move to the next higher frequency and you get a different radio station. That's what's happening to us. The frequency of our planet, our solar system, our entire galaxy is changing from here to here. Okay, it's vibrating faster. That vibration is causing a lot of agitation within us human beings and animals and climate and all of that stuff. It will level out. We will get used to it and we will be in sync, in harmony with that vibration. But until we get used to it, we're going to feel a little off, feel a little agitated. But it's also revealing things. Our consciousness is changing because of it, okay? Think of it as broadband internet. You know, we were at slow dial-up speed, and the information was coming in very jerky and fragmented. And now, moving to a broadband frequency, the information is coming through a lot easier and with greater bandwidth. We know more now. We're capable of knowing more now. We're seeing more now. We're going to communicate in a way that's really going to emulate telepathy. That's kind of what's happening with the whole internet. See, the internet's a precursor to that. I'm really getting into some stuff here. You can see evidence of things that will be, things that are to come, in things that are happening now and in the recent past. The internet, bringing everybody together and sharing information without being face to face, that is mimicking telepathy. And now they're talking about connecting the internet directly to your brain. They're putting chips in people's brains and all this kind of thing. That's another symptom of the precursor effect to what is in the process of becoming. Yes, telepathy, psychic ability, ESP, all that stuff does exist. And we all have that lying within us. I mean, intuition is the same thing as psychic ability. We all have it. But now that we're getting tuned up, it's going to be stronger than ever before. And many of you are already experiencing that. And so don't doubt it. The key to telepathy and psychic ability and clairvoyance and all that is to accept. Even if you think it's your imagination, just accept it. Because eventually you'll find out that, oh, this is happening, and here's the evidence of it. It wasn't my imagination. And the more you begin to do that, the more you'll realize just what is your imagination and what is actual downloads of information that's coming from this cosmic internet that we live inside of. Okay? And the human cell phone, which is right here, your third eye, that's the antenna. Anyway, I've really gone off on a tangent here, and I would love to go on and on and on because it feels good to get it out. I think I'm going to stop right now and maybe do a little bit more later, maybe do another video. And this may sound like a plug, but Snoo, my band Snoo, just released an album, okay? You've Got Some Nerve. Here it is. And this, if you look at the cover, encoded in this cover is the messages that is really what I'm talking about. Everything about this album, every song on this record as a message dedicated to these ideas, the mass awakening that is occurring, where we're going to be when we get through it. And I got to admit that, I wrote all the lyrics, but so much of it just happened automatically. It's like an automatic writing situation where I don't even know if I wrote the lyrics. Seriously. I would just, an idea would pop in my head, for a song, and okay, so what am I going to write? And then all of a sudden it was like, okay. And I'd read it back and go, wow, where'd that come from? I mean, it'd be whole passages. I could go into how I've channeled things throughout my life, maybe in another time. Anyway, the new Stu record is loaded with information, and it's all encoded. I mean, that's one way I could put it. It's encoded into the songs. It's encoded into the artwork, and it all pertains to this shift that is occurring right now. And believe it or not, you're going to see some things that you might find unbelievable before this year is even over. That's a bold statement, but yeah, it's 2018 is the year when things do change in ways that nobody expected. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. If you want to hear more, leave some comments, and I'll be back.